mendelspod.com, advancing life science research, connecting people and ideas.
Joining us in the press room at the Personalized Medicine Conference is Jill Hagenkord. Jill is the CMO at Complete Genomics, and she made a presentation this morning. Thanks for joining us, Jill.
You're welcome.
So you're the first CMO at Complete Genomics.
Yep, I joined the company in August of 2011, so I've been there about 4 or 5 months.
Okay. So does that say something about the direction the company's going?
Yeah, it really does. Our CEO, Cliff Reed, will kind of describe this as Complete Genomics version 2.0. Up to this point, we really focused on the research market, and we plan to continue focusing on the research market, but we now also have a kind of a separate effort focused at moving into translational research partnerships as well as clinical diagnostics.
Hmm. So you made a presentation this morning,
Mm-hmm.
on one of the tracks. What was the gist of that?
Well, it was a short presentation, but I really just wanted to kind of demonstrate to the audience the ways that, as a pathologist, that I think the Complete Genomics model is kind of completely well suited for movement into diagnostic applications. A model that they developed, 5 or 6 years ago with a focus on the research market really turns out to be optimally focused for research or diagnostic applications.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess just to go a few more steps into that is Complete Genomics has always focused on humans. They believe it's the only
exclusively.
It's the only genome worth sequencing 1 billion times. They also focused on only whole genomes, which I think was pretty forward-looking and kind of risky. If you look back 5, 6 years ago, I think people thought this was going to go a lot slower, even those of us who are kind of genomics experts. And so they were actually betting that it was going to happen much more quickly and chose to focus and optimize their chemistry and their analytics techniques on getting the best whole human genome sequencing possible. So we skip kind of those upfront enrichment steps and the artifacts that can be introduced when you're doing targeted next-gen or whole exome sequencing. And then we've also focused really on sequencing. So not only do we not do maize and zebrafish and worms, we also don't do methylation or SNP arrays. All of our R&D and all of our company focus is really on doing the best human whole genome sequencing. So you can see when it comes time to turn to the diagnostic applications why this is such a perfect fit.
Now you're a pathologist.
Yes.
And you practiced as a molecular genetic pathologist?
Yes.
Okay. So that's significant here because the way into the clinic is through the pathologist.
Yes.
I heard Cliff say it at a seminar.
Yeah. And that's what pathologists were the keeper of the test in clinical medicine. And we make sure that tests are safe, reliable, reproducible, and we do the interpretation and consult with our physician colleagues about how to integrate that into patient care decisions. And so as a molecular genetic pathologist, my subspecialty training is in the design, validation, and implementation of DNA and RNA-based assays. And I also did a fellowship in pathology oncology informatics, which adds in the layer of kind of these massively parallel technologies that require a computational component. So I'm kind of uniquely trained to be ushering these kinds of assays from the research lab into the clinical space. So,
plus you guys are sequencing more and more cancer genomes.
Yeah, we have a cancer product that's out there now for the research community, and we're working to validate that for use in the clinic.
So you were practicing in Omaha, Nebraska. What do you think of Silicon Valley?
I knew what I was getting into. I went to med school out here at Stanford back in the 90s. Yeah, so I was used to the expensive housing, the bad traffic, I knew what I was getting into, but it was really just a kind of an opportunity that I couldn't turn down. It's an amazing group of people to be working with.
Well, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.